You gotta come in frame.
Okay.
I'm Tara, this is Colby. We're gonna be doing chocolate peanut butter protein balls for our nutrition video. You wanna tell them about our audience?
Our audience is athletes and people that are working on getting higher protein and calorie dense meals.
So that education kind of goes along with for athletes. This snack is good for on the go. Each ball provides nearly 3 grams of protein, just under a gram of fiber, about 2.5 grams of carbohydrates per ball. Each one only has about 40 grams of carbs. Other nutrients include about 27 grams of sodium, and fat equals out to about 4 grams. This snack is also great for those who need more calories and protein, but don't really have much of an appetite. These are great for just a quick on the go. Let me pull up the recipe and I will read it off to you. Okay, so we're gonna start with 3 3/4 cup of quick oats. So it's about 1.5 of those. We'll have 3/4 cup of old-fashioned oats. Now these are a high protein brand of oats, so this will have some added protein along with our protein powder.
3/4?
Yeah, so 3 of those. We'll have 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. For this, we're using crunchy peanut butter, but you can use just any kind of normal peanut butter or peanut butter of your liking. We'll have 70 grams or 2 tablespoons of any kind of protein powder. You can use chocolate or vanilla. We're using vanilla whey protein. There's a scoop in it. So you'll have 2 of those. I think one of these is equal to 2 maybe. Nope, just 2. We'll have 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed just to add some extra fiber.
2 tablespoons.
Mm-hmm. And we're doing a cup of our peanut butter. I have to add some more. If you want to use this one, we're going to add about 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup of honey. You'll add that whole thing. It's pre-measured. Do you need help?
Oh, it's coming. Maybe.
Use the side of the spatula.
There we go.
Okay, and we just mix this all together. When you make these, you can add more or less of peanut butter and honey if they're too dry. You can add more or less of your dry ingredients if it's too thin. Another option for if it's too dry, you can just leave it as is and allow it to sit in the fridge, and you can just make a granola to add to yogurt or any kind of smoothies. Which I think we'll probably have to add more peanut butter. have to add more peanut butter, but. So fill that back up and we'll add another third. You'll use that. We'll just add by the third. That way we can reflect that in our macros at the end. And add that in. There we go. Let's go ahead and do one more. We should be okay with that. Hopefully. There you go. You can just scrape on the side, yep. Really much easier with a stand mixer.
Oh yeah.
That was not bringing that. Okay. That looks about right.
Yeah, almost there.
Okay, and then for this next part, I'm going to clear off that plate there. You can use 2 spoons or you can use just a cookie scoop. You'll spray each one with just some cooking spray so it doesn't stick. And you can just scoop and form into it. It makes about 20 to 30 servings. You'll scoop and form. And then you'll lay on a plate and just refrigerate for about 10 minutes or until you're ready to eat. And they'll just stay in the fridge until you're ready for them. Okay, so my name is Tara. I was previously in the video when we physically made the recipe. Colby has put together this lovely slideshow and I offered to voice over it to really just get in depth on the nutritional value per ingredient that we used. And at the end, we'll kind of recap and look at the recipe as a whole and the nutritional value per peanut or per protein ball that we have. So we made chocolate peanut butter protein balls, and we are crediting this recipe to Jamie Nye. She is the recipe creator. So let's get through some nice animations here. Coming up is an ingredient list and their nutritional value. So first we used instant oatmeal by Quaker. It's their original flavor. So 3/4 a cup of Quaker instant oats. Our nutritional value per packet was about 100 calories, 2 grams of total fat, 75 milligrams of sodium, 18 grams of total carbs, and in that 18 grams, 3 of which are dietary fiber. We have 4 grams of protein per packet, and for this recipe we used about 1.5 packets, which equaled out to our 3/4 cup. So next we used Kodiak protein oats. They're classic rolled. So we used 3/4 cup of these, and our nutritional value per, it's supposed to say 1/2 cup serving, is 190 calories per serving. We have 4 grams of total fat, 5 milligrams of cholesterol, 50 milligrams of sodium, 29 grams of carbohydrates, and in that 29 grams, 5 of which are dietary fiber, and there's 1 gram of sugar. And there's 10 grams of protein in this half cup serving as well. So next we used Hershey's cocoa powder. We used about 2 tablespoons, and our nutritional value per tablespoon is 10 calories. We have half a gram of total fat. There's 3 grams of carbohydrates, and 2 of which are dietary fiber. And there's 1 gram of protein. So this Body Fortress whey protein, vanilla flavor is what we chose to use. This was our choice protein. We used about 2 scoops of it, and this is really the mass of the recipe. This is where you're going to get the mass of your protein from. The nutritional value for this per 2 scoops is about 420 calories. It's got 5 grams of total fat, 270 milligrams of cholesterol, about 210 milligrams of sodium. We're at 16 grams of carbohydrates, 3 of which are sugar. And then we have a whopping 60 grams of protein. So this is really that oomph that you need. This is where you're going to get that boost of protein for our target audience, who is like bodybuilders, weightlifters, anybody who's really physically active. Other people who benefit from this amount of protein are people who need to improve their healing. So any kind of burn victim or trauma victim, they really need to have that increase in nutritional intake. And so this is a really good way to do that without there being an increase in appetite. Sometimes it's really hard to eat mass amounts of food. So this is something that is really easy for on the go while getting a good portion of the nutrition that they need. So next we used Peanut Delight Crunchy Peanut Butter. We used about 1 2/3 cups of this peanut butter. But our nutritional value per 2 tablespoons is about 180 calories. It's got 15 grams of total fat just in those 2 tablespoons. So a good option here would be to switch in for a low-fat peanut butter, or maybe even a more natural peanut butter. It's got less preservatives, so that could help break down some of that fat content. We have 100 milligrams of sodium. We've got 8 grams of carbohydrates, 2 of which are fiber and 3 of which are sugar. And then there's 7 grams of protein. We use Nature Nate's raw and unfiltered honey. So in that half cup of honey, our nutritional value per tablespoon is 70 calories. There's 18 grams of carbohydrates, 15 of which are sugar. So this is really where you're getting that sugar rush in this recipe. It's going to add that sweetness and make it a little bit more appetizing. And just a little hint down at the bottom, there are 8 tablespoons to a half cup. The last thing that we use, we chose to add the optional ground flaxseed. This is a really good source of fiber for those who have any kind of digestive issues. So anyone who has trouble with irregular bowel movements, or just really need that fiber intake because they've had some kind of GI issue in the past, this is something that is really good to add, just to kind of help that fiber intake when whole grains are hard to find, or sometimes it's just out of our budget. This is a really cheap way to include this. So we use 2 tablespoons of flaxseed in our recipe, and our nutritional value per 2 tablespoons is 160 calories. We got 12 grams of fat, so there's a decent amount of fat in just these 2 tablespoons, but these fats tend to be on the healthier side. We do have 8 grams of carbohydrates, all of which are fiber. So this is that, like I said, that really good kick for fiber in this recipe. And we've got 6 grams of protein that accompany the rest of that. So we're coming up on nutritional content. This is kind of our total nutritional value. And this is where we're going to include our micronutrients as well. So let's start off with our micronutrients. Right off the bat, I'm seeing a little bit of typos, so bear with me. Our big micronutrients across the board are calcium. So we're starting out, our total overall with all of our ingredients in the recipe will equal out to about 880 milligrams of calcium total. And when you divide that out, that'll give you about 22. That's supposed to say milligrams per ball. Our iron, which is really important, is about 27.5 milligrams for the whole recipe. So that'll equal out to about 0.7 milligrams per protein ball. Our vitamin A is about 114. That's also supposed to say milligrams in the recipe, which will equal out to about 2.9, just about 3 milligrams per protein ball. Next up, we just have our overall nutritional value in the entire recipe. So there are 3,485 calories. If you were to eat all 40, which is not recommended, it may leave you with quite a heavy stomach. Dividing that out per protein ball will equal out to about 87.1 calories. Our total fats in this recipe is about 184.5 grams, equaling out to about 4.6 grams per ball. Our total cholesterol is about 277.5 grams per ball. I'm sorry, that's 277.5 grams for the recipe and about 7 grams per ball. And for our total sodium, we equal out to about 1,440.5 grams, equaling 36.2 grams per protein ball. Our total carbohydrates equal about 202.5 grams, leveling out at about 5 grams per protein ball. In that, we have about 45 grams of dietary fiber, or 1.125 grams per ball, and about 51 grams of sugar, or 1.3 grams per ball. And our total protein is about 162.5 grams for the entire recipe, equaling out about 4 grams per ball. And just to tack on at the end, this is just a real quick, simple nutrition label. This just kind of labels out a general serving size is about 4 protein balls. So just a run through on that. Let me scoot you up a little bit here. In that 4 protein balls in that serving size, you'll run about 348.4 calories, about 18.4 grams of fat, about 28 grams of cholesterol, 144.8 grams of sodium, 20 grams of carbohydrates, 4.5 grams of dietary fiber, 5.2 grams of sugar, and 16 grams of protein. So for those of you counting, here is our serving size and the calories and nutrients that go along with that. If you're looking more in depth at your micronutrients, those are on just a little bit before. You can pause the video there and write down what you need to be able to calculate that out. But other than that, we are finished here. So thank you very much.